Hello folks, it is I, Noob Mister. We are back once again with the Game Time podcast, where we talk about life, gaming, and all that good stuff in between. Take 2! We are not on the ball today. We'd started doing the podcast like a few minutes ago, and I'd forgotten to do the
There
intro.
was some crackling problems and whatnot with my microphone, so we decided to restart and see if we can get this.
Yeah.
My fault. I switched us to Sydney.
Yeah.
And so
Because we're doing this over Discord, it has its own region connections for anybody that has used voice on here before. And, yeah, generally speaking, he'd switched it over to Sydney thinking, oh, the connection's going to be better. But it wasn't. It was making his microphone crackle every time he hit a certain peak. So,
well, how the fuck's I supposed to know?
I don't know, Mike said. How were you supposed to know? Yes. And that is, of course, a reference to an animation that I linked on my community posts that somebody did of a section from the first ever podcast, which if you have not listened to, why have you not listened to it yet?
What are you doing with your life?
Why have you not listened to my podcasts? Why do you not just stick them on in the background and go about your daily business?
I'm
Why?
still surprised that there are some people here and there that actually have watched the podcast all the way through.
Well, listened to the podcasts all the way through. But yeah, this is really meant to be just something people put on in the background while they're doing their homework or while they're doing some menial task like cleaning their room or something. But no, apparently most people don't hang around for more than... Don't talk over me. Do not talk over me. But yeah, seriously, average view duration on the last few videos have been like 40 seconds. So that means that people have been tuning out after 40 seconds. And I don't know why.
Better than 60 seconds.
I don't get that reference. What was that a reference to?
It's kind of like our version of Fox News down here. It's a channel that barely anybody watches anymore because, you know, they're kind of full of shit.
Oh,
it's a
those
channel
kind
called
of
60
channels.
Seconds. Or at least that's what my parents say. Or my brothers say? I don't remember. All I do remember is whenever 60 Seconds pops up, we're like, nah, don't watch that shit.
Let's bring up an important news story, but gloss over all the details.
All right, go ahead.
Wait, no, I was saying that was what 60 seconds was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I confused you, didn't I?
Yeah, I thought you wanted us to go to, you know, one of the things where one of the subjects is that we talk about news.
No.
I was thinking, oh, we're jumping to that already?
No. I know you're tired and you want to go to bed, but we're not going to do it that soon. Not going to end the podcast that quickly, mate. And yes, incidentally...
Remember when I showed you the that Harry Potter ad from Seven Mate?
Yeah. I remember that. But yes, if you're also wondering why my microphone sounds a little bit different or my voice quality sounds a bit different, it's because I changed microphones because I was having too many problems with the sort of studio one that I was using because I was having to stand it on my desk. It was picking up my computer, buzzing through the desk.
I'm to blame. I kept bringing it up to him about how there was that humming sound.
I always thought that was just something that my microphone was doing. I never actually realized it was because it was my computer buzzing through the entire desk. And not to mention the fact that I was having problems trying to get peak filters working on my microphone, and I'm terrible at sound editing, so we're just going to go back with a microphone that I know at least works.
Good to stick with what you know.
Excuse me, I got something stuck right at the back of my throat and I can't swallow it. I think it's time for a drink. So delicious. Anyway, life. Yes, indeed. Life. Let us talk about life. So, Mikey boy, what have you been doing in the last week, if anything at all?
Can't really think of anything to bring up aside from on the way back from work. I had a flock of magpies just following me.
It's the birds. They've become intelligent. They know.
They thankfully I had um thankfully I had a bag of uh shoot, what are they called again? Cheezels to give to them. And I had a couple that were brave enough to step right in front of me to take them from my hands. The rest are usually just cowards. Are like, throw it to me. I'm too scared of you. Yet I'll follow you because I'm desperate for some comfort food.
And I know that you have food, so I will continue to follow you and make you uneasy until you throw me said food.
They remember me because I was carrying a backpack and whatnot. I didn't have a lunch bag in my hands or anything like that, so they just knew. They remembered me.
Bird memory.
Mm,
Not
I have the
photographic memory,
bird
but
brain.
bird memory.
And
Yeah, anything else aside from feeding the birds, tuppence a bag, or however much those things cost?
well, since we were talking about my weight before and whatnot, I figured I'd bring up mom and dad to ask if they even use that treadmill of theirs. Not surprisingly, it's not getting used. So I asked if I could borrow it. So this following week, hopefully I'll have a working treadmill here. Because
And then you
uh,
won't use it!
nah, I really need to start using it because I'm really worried about my weight getting out of hand here. But anyway, I do want to just do regular walks around, but I don't trust myself because I've got no one to walk with and no one coaching me or anything like that. I don't trust myself to think, am I walking fast enough? Am I going too slow? But with a treadmill, I can set it to a set speed, and well, if I'm on the treadmill, I know I'm going at the set speed,
Hmm.
and I respond better to input. So I figured since it has a timer or whatnot, Dad said that he'll write a little marker where he suggests I have the speed at, and he's going to write down a recommended time for how long I do, like, say, 10 minutes or more.
Okay then.
Maybe 20 minutes? I don't know. He says I should probably start at 20. Sorry, 10. So hopefully, I'll get my weight a little bit more under control, but I need to work on losing it and figure out a diet.
I would suggest
Me
soup. Soup is a good thing. But just make sure that there is
no
actually
soup.
something
We
with the soup. Because apparently, if you just eat like just a basic cream of something soup, then you're not gonna stay full for longer. But if you actually eat something that's in there, like what I've been eating when I've been eating a tomato and three bean soup, that keeps you fuller for longer. So actually, you need to
Problem
make sure that you
is,
actually have some substance with it, and bread.
problem is, I don't know what soup I'd even like. I don't even remember if I even liked any kind of soup when I was growing up.
Just try something. Just pick out a cheap tin of soup from the supermarket or ever from the supermarket. Oh,
I'm at soup.
what do you mean you're at soup?
I mean, I'm at soup.
What store are you in?
I'm at the soup
Why
store.
are you buying clothes at the soup store?
Fuck you.
Yeah, I was trying to
uh,
avoid shouting because I know what will happen if I do that. I'll hit the peaks and then the audio will distort and then it'll all sound like shit.
but yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for some certain soup cans or whatnot to try out when I go shopping at Aldi's again or the reject shop.
Yeah, just don't buy too cheap a tin of soup, otherwise, and steer clear of anything and coriander. It's disgusting. I've tried coriander soup
Coriander?
before and it is horrible.
What's coriander?
I have absolutely no idea. Hang on, let me. I have a web page open. Just let me click away from my Fur Affinity account for 5 seconds.
Because I don't know if that's the name of a region or if that's the name of a spice or just the type or whatnot. I don't know what
Coriander.
it is.
It is coriander, also known as Chinese parsley, the stems and leaves of which are usually called cilantro in North America, is an annual herb in the family some probably Greek or Latin word that I can't describe. All parts of the plant are edible, but the fresh leaves and dried seeds are the parts most traditionally used in cooking. So that's the bit that tastes disgusting.
Oh boy.
I eat all of it. So yeah, basically it's a herb.
Well, I
That's
like
of
certain herbs, I've noticed.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you might actually like coriander. I've tried carrot and coriander. That was ew. It was lumpy and it was bland and tasteless and it was
Oh, I am the type that sometimes, like for example, my mom once gave me a bowl of mincemeat and gravy, and I loved it.
mincemeat and gravy.
Yeah. So basically, it was just it was a juicy, salty mishmash of meat.
Okay, kind of sounds like just a standard beef mince thing that my mum used to do with just throw some vegetables in it. It wasn't like a bolognese or anything.
Oh,
It was just
and my dad decided to throw in some four cheese mix in because he knows I love cheese.
chisel.
Cheese.
Chisel. Chisel. So
Uh,
yeah, have you noticed that every single time we talk about this kind of stuff, we always end up talking about food?
yeah, that seems to be a common subject, but really, that's what's on my mind lately, and I doubt it. I'm gonna be able to rely on it long because now that I think about it, I don't eat that much different varieties. I mostly eat. I just end up eating the same thing. My favorite beef ravioli, the chicken, or uh that's that's it, and that's all I can just remember of mentioning that is well, I think is worth mentioning that isn't something I just grab out of the fridge and eat like a sandwich or something.
Hmm. I don't tend to deviate. I think I've also mentioned that I don't tend to deviate from the same recipes either. But this week I am pretty much going to be eating nothing but fish finger sandwiches. Why am I
Yeah,
suddenly having
hopefully
the
they'll be
Why am I
nice.
suddenly having the strangest feeling of deja vu? I feel like we've actually talked about this before.
I think we did, but we didn't talk about it in a podcast.
I'm fairly certain we have talked about it in a podcast. In fact, I think it might have actually been the very first podcast.
Oh no, you know what that means.
What?
The agents are here. They changed something in the Matrix.
No, that's just us not being able to think of different subjects to talk about because, to be perfectly honest, I don't think either of us really get out all that much.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, I can't get out all that much simply because going out requires money. I don't have an awful
Oh,
lot of it.
speaking of going out and whatnot,
Yeah.
um, I had a surprise visit today from both my parents as well as my big brother, and he's going to be going to PAX, and he asked if I was interested in coming, and I remembered that I had a few friends, including one that goes by the name Diahar, was going to be attending it, and he asked if I was going to be going there because he'd like to meet me, and then I went, I don't think I'll be going. Then on that very day, my brother shows up and offers me the opportunity. I'm like, fuck it. I'll pop over. It should be fun.
Yeah, that's kind of
I
something
mean,
that what happened to me recently. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I was, just doing my usual YouTube thing, just making videos that nobody watches. Yes,
hmm,
I am going to keep mentioning that because that is a very, very sore point for me.
yeah.
Um,
And for
but
those of
yeah,
you who don't believe him, look at his subscribe count, but look at his viewer count against everything that is not a certain series.
yes.
The proof is right there that he is not
The proof is
exaggerating.
right there, but nobody will listen to it. It's just like social justice. No matter how much proof you throw at them, they don't want to listen.
Nope.
But yeah, anyway, back onto my story. Yeah, I was just doing my usual YouTube stuff, and then I suddenly got an email through from my YouTube network going, "Oh hey, there's a convention going on up in Birmingham next month on the Easter weekend. Do you want to go and you know go for it?" And I was just like, okay, if I'm being invited, then sure, I will go, and so I am going to a
Let's hope it's
convention
not a
called
scam.
Insomnia 64. in Birmingham. I've never been to Birmingham
Oh,
before, so this will be an experience.
definitely.
Yes. And that's the
And
end of that chapter. Just these last, just a couple of seconds of silence. I've always noticed that with us. We always seem to have these moments
well, I
of
was
just.
about to say something, but like when you said, "Don't talk over me," I was like, "Is he done? Is he done? Is he done?" That was the silence right there. I was waiting before speaking,
Ah, I see. Well, you may continue, sir.
and now I fucking forgot.
Well, darn it all.
Damn it, fellas!
Damn it, boys!
But I've definitely got something to talk about with the gaming area.
Okay then, well, let's move on to the gaming then. Oh, wait. Just before we do that, I just want to talk about one thing that happened last Friday because it was my birthday last week. I turned 31. I'm an old bastard now. I'm ancient compared to most people who probably watch me on YouTube.
Really, you're 31? I thought you were younger.
No, 31. I was born in 88, mate. Mate!
Mate! Well, I didn't know.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I thought I'd describe what some of the
Hey,
presents
he was
I
also
got.
pretty late to tell me that it was his birthday. I was like, wait, it was your birthday? Why didn't you tell me?
I don't really sort of. When you've had 31 birthdays, you sort of sit there and think,
I
I'm
know when
just
you're
gonna have another.
past 18, all the doors are open to you and there's nothing else. You're past all the milestones.
Well, aside from 21.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's if you're
21
not
is.
in Australia. That's if you're not in Australia.
Yeah. But yeah, once you've had like 31 birthdays, you're just like, I'm just gonna have another one next year. So, you know, by the time you get past your 20th, it's just like it's just another birthday. Don't feel any different. But yeah, I think I probably asked for like some of the weirdest selections of presents this year, especially from my
Oh?
mum because she tends to spend quite a bit on me when it comes to presents.
Aw.
The
Do tell.
presents I asked for this year were some sort of fluffy blanket just to keep myself warm during the winter, although admittedly we're moving on into spring now, so it's a little bit on the redundant side, but at least I still have it. Marshmallows, because she bought me some very, very tasty marshmallows from a company in Yorkshire, or was it Yorkshire? Hold on. I got the packaging here for it. Where is it from?
Please give us more details.
Where is it? Yeah, it was made in Leeds, Yorkshire. So she bought me 4 packets of those, and probably the weirdest one I asked for, a stepladder. Yes, I am one of those weird people who asked for a stepladder for his birthday.
Gotta have
Because-
them utilities.
Yeah, because it was something I needed, and to be perfectly honest, it's much safer to be standing on a stepladder than trying to use my desk chair, which has wheels on it.
But did you catch the pun I used earlier?
No.
When you were getting the packet, I was asking, please tell us more.
Oy. Oy, oy,
Oh,
I
the worst
sentence
puns
you.
are
I
the
sentence
best.
you to death. Death by internet memes.
No! No! Stay away from me! I don't want any of the memes! I don't want the dabbing! I don't want this! I don't want the flossing! My nephew does that a lot, and I don't want, what's his name? Shoot, what's his name? Shia LaBeouf. I don't want Shia LaBeouf to tell me to not let my memes be memes and let my dreams be dreams.
Okay then. Although there are probably going to be a lot of people who are going, oh well, we can't. Well, people in Europe can't use memes anymore because Article 13 got passed. Correction to that, my dear folks. Memes, images, and all that good stuff have been excluded from that.
Wait,
So,
what's this about?
you've not heard about Article 13? The whole
I
upload,
think I've heard someone
the
talking
whole
about it in the
upload
background.
filter thing that they were talking about, that the EU have now passed.
Go on.
Uh, for anybody who has been living under a rock, like Mike said here, basically it was part of some EU copyright directive that they were trying to pass that effectively says that all responsibility for copyright stuff now lies with the site that it is uploaded to, i.e., people like YouTube, for example. So everybody was starting to panic, going, oh, well, in that case, all memes are going to die because you can't find out who originally owned the source material for most of the memes or whoever came up with it, and people are going to have to start getting their videos filtered when uploading to YouTube and things like that. And basically, it was yesterday, the law got passed. But here's the interesting thing. Like I said, first of all, memes are excluded from the directive. And second of all, it's not actually a law. Like I said, it's a directive. And from what I understand, that basically means that they are just giving member states of the EU guidelines for writing laws with. So, a lot of these places could just go, yeah, we'll just use that bit there. The rest of it can go away. And it's just like, oh, but you didn't use these bits. Well, it's just a directive. We don't have to use those bits if we don't want to. You're just effectively advising us to use these laws. So, yeah, I'm starting to sit here and think, you know what? I don't think Article 13 is really going to have that much of an impact. Because if anybody's got any bloody common sense, they're just going to sit there and go, yeah, that ain't going to work. They've got 2 years to actually implement this stuff, but I honestly don't think it's actually going to amount to an awful lot, because it's pretty much just going to be a case of, yeah, we were kind of already doing that anyway, so no point. No point.
So when did this happen?
Yesterday. I mean, this whole
Well,
article...
of course, then I wouldn't have heard about it. I surprisingly didn't get. Usually, when something like this happens, I usually get tons of friends.
Oh no,
messaging
no,
me
no,
saying,
no!
"Have
This
you heard
this
about
whole
this?"
Article 13 thing's been going on for the last couple of years. It's just that the law or the directive itself wasn't actually passed until yesterday. So.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
the other one that they included with this directive was the whole Article 11 thing, which was the link tax, which was effectively people of saying, oh, well, if you put a link to our stuff on your site, then you have to pay the original owner of that link to that site a certain
now I
fee.
remember. Yes, I do remember this now, but I forgot about it.
Yeah, well, Google has effectively turned around and gone, well, if you try and charge us a tax for this link, we just won't show it. So you're effectively going to be losing traffic. Which I think is actually kind of crafty of them in a way. Because they are essentially saying, well, if you try and charge us money for us using a link to your website, then we're just not going to show it on our search engine. So basically, it's a... Google are effectively giving a middle finger to to Article 11, and Article 13, which has now been renamed to Article 17, apparently. Yeah, I'm kind of... Although I was panicking a little bit about it, or panicking a lot about it yesterday, I'm sort of sitting here thinking about it now going, is it really going to make that much of a difference? Because a lot of what they're probably going to suggest that sites like this do, they're already doing anyway. It's just that the responsibility of preventing the uploaded content now lies with them rather than the original uploader. So there might be a few problems, but I'm honestly just looking at this going, we may have to wait and see, but I don't think anything is going to happen. It is pretty much just people are just going to go, yeah, we're just going to keep doing what we were doing before. So, although I was worried and I was sitting there going, great, I'm effectively out of a job now because YouTube's going to go down the shitter and everything's going to fall apart, but...
It's still going down the shitter.
It's still going down the shitter, but...
Speaking of which, I just realized, you know how when, if you use the sorts, when you're using the search engine in YouTube, like say, for example, you search by rating, it doesn't give you like top rated or whatnot. It just gives you the top top as in like it's got the most likes, but that means like it could have just one like and no thumbs down, and it will be at the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's inconsistent and whatnot. The only thing that was consistent for me was upload date, because that way it would at least give me the newest. I've now noticed That's not even consistent anymore either. I'm getting ones from last year, a few months back, and when I scroll down, there's one that's recent, but then there's all these other ones that have been from months, weeks, and years.
You might be filtering that based on number. I don't know. It might be due to your filter settings on searches or something. I don't know.
I haven't tweaked any
You may be
filters.
telling it that you want it done by date, but you're also still telling it to do it by views as well. So
Nah, nah. I can do that right now. Hold on.
okay, then go do that. Go do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it. So if I, for example, type in VR chat, and there
Hang on, I need to
is the
try this.
top video that showed up was 2 days ago. I click upload date.
I'm gonna try this as well. Hang on.
Now the first one is 1 month ago, and
Filter.
one was 2 weeks. The second one's 2 weeks ago, and now it's also showing our video, the VR chat too cute, 8 months ago. Uh, Jameski 1 month ago. Another Jameski one one
Which are
year
you
ago.
clicking? Because I've got it. Because I'm looking through the filters and it's saying upload date. Last hour, today, this week, this month, this year. Type, video, channel, playlist, movie, show, duration, long, short, features. Sort by
Yeah, I'm screen
relevance.
sharing.
Oh, upload date. Ah, okay.
Yeah, upload date.
12 hours ago, 1 week ago. Yeah, that's not consistent.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was consistent with me before, but now it's not. So YouTube's got even more down the shitter for me because now the one sort by that was consistent is no longer consistent. View count was never consistent. Rating is not consistent.
What
Because,
happened
for
to that?
example, I just did the view count and it's still showing me the exact same videos. The only thing that's changed is
I
just the
just
fourth
did
videos.
rating and it's showing the exact same videos. So
Yeah,
in fact, I've got one that isn't even VR chat related. It's just a couple of Jacksepticeye videos. It just happens to be in VR. But then again, I did VR chat as two separate words, so that
yeah, I've got them as one word.
no, I've always done it as two separate words.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
not even upload date works anymore.
everything is broken. But
Now
anyway,
I can't see what the latest funny compilation of VR chat moments are.
have you tried
And
subscribing to
yes,
their channels
uh,
and to
well,
ringing the notification bell?
the one I did subscribe to apparently closed down.
Yeah,
I don't
odd.
know which one it was, but it's gone.
Must have been the community guideline problems or copyright problems, I would have thought.
Maybe.
But anyway, let's move on to the subject of gaming because I think we've sat there and rambled enough about random shit that nobody really cares about.
Oh yeah.
So,
First,
gaming related stuff. Anything new with you?
well, the first thing I wanted to get out of the way real quickly is that what I talked to you about before was Justin Roiland has just released another. Well, it hasn't released it yet. Sorry, is in the midst of releasing another video game, which has his humor in it. Definitely, it feels
Yes,
very
I
Rick
have
and
seen
Morty.
it. What was it called? It was
Uh, shit. Hold on, I'm
it
gonna
was
go
like
try and find it.
Trevor saves the universe or something.
Trover saves the
Trover
universe. So
saves the
close.
universe. It
And
sounded like
immediately,
Trevor.
yeah, immediately when you look at the first character you see and all that, you immediately get that Rick and Morty like vibe, or just bizarre alien like vibe. Because for example, you get what looks like a just a basic blue guy with a round head and whatnot, but he has faces for eyes, and he does have a mouth, but again, his eyes are two eye is a tiny little head with two eyes and a little nose and I think a mouth. And so you immediately get that vibe of yep, this is bizarre, and that's definitely his sense of humor.
Yep. I saw the trailer and I was just like, none of this makes any sense whatsoever.
Yep, the awkward pauses, the struggling with the lines, improv. He has that type of
Yeah, that kind
aura
of
about him.
style.
Yep.
And it's also only half VR because you can do it in sit down mode, which you don't like because you can't do
Well,
it in.
because I can't do it, because that means I have to be at my computer, and my Vive setup is in the next room.
Why not just put a chair in there then?
Because then I have to then put a keyboard in there, and then a mouse in there.
Well,
But then
so
I
why
would
not?
need
Why
a
not just?
desk in there.
Well, why not just use the VR controls while sitting down in there?
It doesn't support the controllers.
You sure about that?
Yeah,
You sure
most
about
seated
that?
VRs require the keyboard. And when I checked it, it didn't say controller supported.
And
Well,
from
one
the fact
control.
that it's going to be on the PS VR, then I would have thought it would have controller support. So
Yeah, but not one controller support.
yeah, well, that's perfect.
As in,
Perfect. It's perfect for me because somebody who doesn't have all the fancy setup that would be able to do that kind of stuff, especially considering that
hmm.
I don't have VR at the moment because
I'm
I
looking
have no
forward to when you
money.
do.
Hmm?
I will be able to virtually hug you in VR chat. Speaking of
Yes.
which, that's the second thing I wanted to talk about.
VR chat?
Yeah. um, I think I've talked about this before, but with you, but not in the podcast. But dear goodness, it is not a safe haven for furries such as us.
Well, because you mean about the whole if somebody vote kicks you, then that works against you, and then you're considered to be a nuisance because.
The fact that that's happened to me several times goes to show that there's a majority of people that can band together very quickly just to kick you out for being yourself. And granted, it's a matter of opinion, but I don't think what I'm doing is nearly as bad and as toxic as other people. All I do is do that little voice that's similar to Mike's voice, but speak a little more broken English as that little Dutchie running around wanting to hug someone. And if someone freaks out and runs away, I chase them. Because, in all honesty, all it takes is just a click and either hide avatar or block me. Nope, gotta vote kick. Gotta make a statement. They don't want to just erase the problem from their perspective. They want it gone from the world.
There are unfortunately a lot of people who are like that. That's just the internet as it is. It's I saw something that I don't like, but rather than just making it so that I can't see it, I don't want it to exist at all.
And a large majority of these types of people that I encounter that do not hesitate to stand in front of me and they Xbox 360 microphone that crap and go you know down the road of racial and homophobic slurs and all that.
Mhm.
um they're always they're always Nikos,
Are they?
which is ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then again, I don't really count Nikos as being furries in the strictest sense because it's either look, you either don't or you do. There's no in between.
but there is an in between, and it's called Nikos.
Yeah. And usually they're people. I think they're only doing it because they're trying to be lol so ironic because they're being a furry online too. It's just like no, piss off.
And which reminds me of the time when I encountered this person who has a bunch of crash avatars, but he uses them in retaliation to those that are being very hateful. He accidentally crashed me once, and he contacted me on Discord and was basically panicking and begging for forgiveness. Like, legitimately, he was worried, like sick.
Oh right.
And yeah, and I had to calm him down. And then he started asking me, how do I do it? How do I be myself so confidently even with everyone just shit talking me? I say, well, half the time, there's usually one or two people that actually legitimately find me cute, or eventually a bunch of fellow furry friends who have added me start joining me, and before I know it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dutchies, colorful little fluffy Dutchies running everywhere, hugging, being silly, or just staring people in the face. with their cute little fluffy cheeks.
Aw. The Dutchy
And
invasions.
yeah, the Dutchy invasions or best boys. They
Yeah.
tend to follow around with them too.
Yeah,
But
they're kind of effectively the same thing, really. Or the Best Boys were based off of Dutchies, so
except I believe the best boys were crossed with foxes, or I think so. That's why they don't have wings. Well, the other one
maybe
is
I don't know. All that I know is that
because the Dutch
Telephone
Angel
was
Dragon
the.
is well a Dutch Angel Dragon. Well,
Hmm,
the other one is a Dutch fox, something else. I forgot what the other was.
yeah.
But yeah,
All that
it's
I
close
know
to
is
the
that they
same.
were based off of Telephone. That was what I was told. So
Yeah, the best boys. The Dutchies are what telephone
yeah,
is,
the
though.
Dutchies are what Telephone is. The Best Boys were based off of what Telephone is.
But anyway, back
Just
on
to
the
make
subject
things
of
too confusing.
but back on the subject of the person that I met. I was actually shocked when I brought this up because I thought he would have heard about this from those that say go back to Second Life or whatnot. But I brought up the topic of Second Life, and he said he had heard it here and there before, but he never bothered to check it out. I said, mate, there are plenty of furry sims and whatnot that are just wonderful havens for those um, both loot and otherwise just to hang out with. And when I introduced him to it, I was shocked at how quick he adjusted to the controls. Usually takes weeks to get used to it. Not only that, I helped him get a few I gave him a few linens to help him afford an avatar. He went as a little back character, and then next couple of days, I hear he's made a bunch of friends, and he apparently got gifted some linen dollars here and there by some people that wanted to support him, and he got himself another avatar. He got some accessories, clothes for his character, animations, overrides, and all this other stuff. And I was like, my goodness, I wish I prospered that quickly. And now to this day, he constantly thanks me every time he gets the chance. So I rarely see him on VR chat anymore. He is happy on Second Life finally with those he can be open with. Because yeah, going when I went back to Second Life after giving it a long hiatus, when I went from VR chat back to Second Life, I was like, my goodness, this is a drastic difference.
Yeah,
I can be fully myself, and apparently I'm just average compared to the rest. Well, if I'm in VR chat, I'm I'm unbelievably abnormal just running around as a duchy. But when I open up the microphone and go, hello, all hands on deck, red alert, get this, get that motherfucker.
get that motherfucker.
So yeah, VR chat is a terrible place for furries to hang out at. There's plenty of people there that are furries, but yeah, in most pubs, there are bound to be plenty of haters. It's like the equivalent of hanging out with a community from something like Team Fortress or CS:GO. If they feel negative about you, they're not going to express some light negativity or go not interested. No, they're going to be upfront with you that they hate your fucking guts.
And then they wonder why. And they wonder why this whole war between gamers and furries is happening over on TikTok or whatever it is.
Yeah,
But you know
though
what
it does open my
but you know what the
eyes.
funny thing is about this is that a lot of them are all like, "Oh, I'm gonna go undercover and pretend to be a furry. I'm gonna go and design my own really shit persona and pretend to be a furry online." Funny thing with those is they do that, and then like a few months later they come out and go, "Yeah, I'm a furry now," because they realise that it's not all about the yiffing and the lewd art. It's just having fun.
Just don't look to me as the
That is what it's
example.
about.
Just don't look to me as the example.
Yeah, don't look to. In fact, don't look to either of us as the example. Look at us as the minor exceptions.
I'm basically someone who dabble and jumps back and forth between very cutesy stuff and very lewd stuff. I'm very wholesome, but I'm also very open about the lewdness. And speaking of furries, though, another person I thought I might as well bring up, though I'm not going to mention his name because I'm not sure if he is ready to be acknowledged in this particular way. But I ran into a random person in the forest, just playing the forest in VR. He was just um I don't know how old he was or anything. He seemed like he was somewhere in his 20s, maybe, or maybe just a bit young. I don't know. He seemed pretty open minded and everything like that. Anyway, after screwing around and having some fun in the forest, building and defending against cannibals, I mentioned VR chat, this and there. And he wanted to check it out. He doesn't have a VR thing, so he joined in PC mode. And he watched me run around as that little Dutchy thing. He was laughing. He was like, "This is amazing. You're running around as that cute, adorable thing, yet it's also kind of semi freaky. Can I join in and do this silly stuff?" And he became addicted to running around as a Dutchy, being cutesy, um, and then he literally came back a couple weeks later and told me, "You've officially converted me into a furry." I thought he was just over exaggerating, but yeah, I see him. His Discord changed to a Dutchy, and he is now known by a few of my fellow Dutchy friends. So yeah, he's being serious. He's connecting with them, having fun, and he just the same thing I do. Runs around with a cutesy voice and just hugs everyone. And he's now even talking about thinking of thinking up a design for a personal persona that is not a duchy. So
Hmm.
yeah, I literally converted him, and he did not know that much about furries. Aside from just here and there, he didn't know much about them personally. So apparently, I was the first friend of his that was a legit furry and not someone mocking it. And well, now he seems to be almost a full-fledged furry. Still a little bit early to be saying that, but I think he's actually doing very well. He seems like he again is chatting well with some of my fellow furry friends, and he does seem legitimately happy.
So the
Though,
conversion process is very easy when it comes to being furries. All it takes is one situation, and that's it. You're changed for life.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to introduce him to Second Life yet, because the reason why I'm even considering that is if he's going to hang around with a bunch of furries, there's better places to do that rather than VR chat where there's plenty of haters. In the Second Life, there's plenty of hubs and havens for specifically furries. Loot and not.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm still surprised that there's dozens of Brony servers still running. I remember there was a dark age where a bunch of them were down because, well, the admins and moderators were just dickheads, from what I've heard.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's good that they're still around.
Yeah. Can I talk about games that I've played now, please? Have
Yes,
I?
I'm so sorry that I went on for hours about that.
It's just I was sitting there thinking, I played Yakuza Zero last night. I found the walking erection. There.
Oh, I remember this. Please go on.
Yeah. Anybody who's played Yakuza Zero before, yeah, I've gotten to the point in the game where I found the character who is literally this guy, I can't remember if he's bald or not, that is walking around in like flesh colored underpants and a pair of socks, and that's it. And he is just called the Walking Erection.
He's not
And
exaggerating. He showed me a clip, and that was literally his title name at the top left of his caption box.
yeah, and considering I was live streaming this over on Twitch, twitch.tv/noobmister, shameless plug. Yeah, there is a clip of my reaction to that character. And not to mention the fact that he actually had turned up slightly earlier in the game as well. There's a bit where you're sitting in a club and you're scoping it out. And this guy is standing by the entrance with his hands behind his head, dry humping the air. And your character's reaction is just the same as anybody else's reaction would be, which is just, what the hell? What the hell is that guy doing? And then the fact that he then turns up later on and you find out that he is called Walking Erection. It's just, huh? What? I don't know if it's got anything to do with the idol cards that I've been picking up around the places. I'm not really that interested in collecting most of them. It's just the fact that I just see a shining object on the floor. I'm just like, ooh, what's this shiny object? It's just like, oh, it's another one of these cards. But I think he then turns up later on once you've collected all of them. It's just like, oh yeah, you love collecting all these cards, and your character's just like, go away. I hate you. Because it's obviously meant to be taking the piss out of weebs, basically. Because it's just like, oh, you're so pathetic, you have to go around and collect all these cards of girls that you will never be with. Poke fun. It's just like, screw you, it's a collectible in a game, and I want to 100% it, so I am collecting these cards. So, yeah. It's also kind of funny that there is an achievement in the game called I did it for the achievement, which is go to one of the lewd video places and watch lewd videos. Well, I say watch lewd videos. All you just hear is just a load of moaning and stuff, and you just obviously see a character's reaction. I don't know, I haven't actually been to any of those places yet because I'm too scared to go there. So, yeah. That's Yakuza 0 for you, ladies and gentlemen. I've been playing a lot of that lately, because... And I also did the bit with the, escorting the blind lady as well, and I fucking hated that mission. Because if she gets... Because if you end up getting into a fight with some of the guys that are running around trying to look for you, you have to fight them off and protect her at the same time. And she loses so much health if they grab her and try and pull her away that... And I'm just finding the lock-on controls for that game just a little bit awkward. So, all I'm saying is, I hope for the love of God that bit does not happen again, because that was annoying.
The only the first footage I ever saw of that game series is one of the finishers where you throw some guy's head in a microwave and you ask the store clerk, heat him up for me, please. And he just scaredly presses a few buttons, and then the guy goes, ah! And drops to the floor.
My personal favourite finisher with a lot of those things is if you're in a particular fighting style. When you're given the prompt, I think is when your opponents are stunned, you get into a stun state. You punch them so hard, it sends them flying into the other guys. It's just so satisfying to watch. I just love that particular move, and I'm always in that fighting style whenever that happens, just so that I can see it happening.
And I wouldn't be surprised if later on they do some even more wackier finishes. Like, for example, you uppercut someone so hard they go flying up in the sky, and their clothes get left behind.
No, like it's not. Style. It's not that crazy.
But just give it time. Who knows?
I don't think it'll ever get that crazy, because there has to be a certain level of realism in this game, and yeah, that's kind of where they're going with that.
Give them time.
Yeah, I seriously doubt it. Anyway, moving on from games. Considering that I don't want to anger the EU and start linking to things and them going, oh, you should be paying for that link to this news article. I thought we'd try something a little bit different this week. So
and that is?
This is something that I have come to call as DSP Watch. Where we observe the antics of a certain YouTuber by the name of Darkside Phil, also known as the overweight bearded man-child who sucks at video games and life in general. Last week, definitely last week by the time this podcast goes out, he did a 12-hour marathon to try and raise money for his taxes. Now, the thing is with this, is that a lot of people are sitting there going, does he really owe the federal government $17,000 in taxes? Especially when there are people that are turning around going, oh, well, my friend made this much in the year and they didn't have to pay that much in taxes. The fact that Phil then turns around and goes, "Oh, well, you obviously don't know how the federal tax system works. Oh, you're stupid." Chances are, Phil, they probably know more about the federal tax system than you do. Because this guy literally does not know shit about anything. So,
Nope.
yep. Is
And I
anything you
still
want
love
to add to
how
that?
I love how my poor friend Nubi here uh has now grown self-aware of the whole leaning back and forth that he does a lot when even if you can't see him on cam. I say listen carefully, you can hear him going back and forth when he's going on and on about something. He's like, yeah, now I hear it,
Yeah, and
and now I
I
can't
also
unhear it.
see it in the videos as well. Go and watch any of Darkside Phil's live stream VODs that he has put up on his YouTube channel, and just watch him. He sits
Actually,
there
no, better.
leaning backwards
Watch.
and forwards and swaying left and right. It's just like, what are you, fucking drunk?
Hold on a moment. Correction. Watch re-uploads or compilations. None of his actual footage from his actual channel. He doesn't deserve it.
That's true. I when I went and did that animation that I did of a DSP tries it that I wanted to do, I went and found one of his I think it was his COD Black Ops, is it 3 or 4 at this point? I've lost count. I'm losing track. I've seriously lost track of how many Call of Duty games and different series there are at this point. So, but it's basically the Black Wake battle royale thing from the most recent Call of Duty. And I went in there going, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and watch this and try and find some footage that I can use to basically make a parody DSP tries it animation out of it. Literally within like the first 2 minutes of me starting that stream or starting to watch it, I found I found like stuff within the first 20 minutes that I could use for animation purposes. It was just too bloody easy. You're making this too easy, mate. And that's just the problem with DSP. He just makes it too easy for his quote unquote detractors.
Hold on a moment. I gotta quote the actor who does Sniper's favorite line. You're making this so easy. I'm actually getting worse.
Yeah. It's just with these things, it's just DSP literally sets himself up for the fall every single time.
At every corner.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I just hope for this whole ESP thing, all these videos here and there, just to stop so that everyone forgets about him. But
I
unfortunately,
hope they carry on because the world needs laughter and they need somebody to laugh at.
yeah, on the one hand, he's a perfect cautionary tale, but on the other hand, he's getting way too much attention than he deserves because of the videos. I mean, I'm pretty sure in the end, this still does help his actual loyal viewers to view and brings in more. But the few that know the truth or well have even bothered to listen to it aren't enough to like cause him to stop or anything. In
Well, of
fact, it might
course he's
just be
not.
encouraged.
At this point in time, a lot of people are actually considering that this whole "I need 17K for my taxes" thing is just a load of bullshit. He's
Eh,
convinced that the old condo that he had in Connecticut or whatever is only worth 60K, but apparently he still owes like 92 or 97K on it. And I'm sitting there thinking, hold on a second. If he has paid, if he still owes that much on this old condo, and he's claiming that it's only worth 60K, how much in value did that supposedly drop? And this is just sort of boggling my mind because I'm thinking, okay, I know the housing market can fluctuate depending on current situations and things like that, but a simple condo like that couldn't drop that much in value. I'm sorry, but I smell bullshit, and Phil's the one that's produced it, and it's currently sitting in his underwear because he doesn't know how to change it because he's got bugged clothes changing mechanics or something.
Is that one end scene from Red versus Blue with the this Sheila the Tank said, and my bullshit meter agrees.
Yes, bullshit meters are at maximum. But yeah, that's really kind of all I have else to say on the matter. Is just that he's just begging for money for his taxes, and then there's
And
me
if
sitting
any
here.
of you who have somehow not seen this guy at his worst, mainly with video games, so the main thing about him that he's terrible with, look up This Is How You Don't Play series, but if you want one of the good ones, try the ones when he's playing the Metal Gear franchise.
Oh yeah, that
He's
one's terrible.
he's he's a Rambo wannabe that's trying to play a stealth-based game.
He's
How
trying
do
to
you
play a
think that's gonna
stealth-based
go?
game as a Rambo, basically.
Yep.
I just repeated what you said essentially. And I was about to
Yep.
say earlier. I was about to say earlier. He's sitting there begging for money for taxes. I'm sitting here begging for money so that I can live. Although I wouldn't really say that I was begging in that case because I'm actually trying to offer something in return for getting that money. I don't know. Does that make me just as bad as him, or does that
No, because you're
excuse me?
trying to actually legitimately offer something, and you do need it. And it's just that the only problem is most of the things that people would definitely be asking you is the thing that you don't want to do anymore
Yeah,
because it's time
exactly.
to move on.
Unless, of course, I start doing clickbaity things where it's not technically clickbait, but it's like Foxy appears in this video for X number of seconds and then we do something else. It's like, well, it's not really clickbait because it does actually happen in the video, but because that one particular thing is in the title, everybody is going to click on it. So I don't know. Would that technically count as clickbait?
I still think it would technically do count, but anyways, speaking of little Foxy, guys, how's that cute little picture at the bottom left of Foxy with that burger in his mouth?
That was just a random thing you decided to do just because it was just like, oh hey, I found this burger model on the Source Filmmaker workshop. I have to use this in the picture. Shove it in Foxy's mouth.
Because I thought he would look cute with a burger in his mouth. Because he can't get enough of it.
Yes. Oh
Uh,
wait, I just realised. I don't have any taste buds, so this whole thing was completely pointless. Now, well, excuse me, all that moist food has just completely corrupted my circuits.
Corruption.
Moist and delicious. Ha!
Coding. uh, and again, I wanted to put a Perot at the right there, but all that was available at the time, and I wanted to get it done before the end of Saturday. But so I ended up just putting Dr. K there.
Yeah,
So
because
hey, Dr. K.
that was the only model that was there. So yeah, I would say that was probably enough of this podcast for this week. So, Mikey boy, do you have anything you want to add to this or anything?
Well, I want you to tell me what are your favorite elements of the current wallpaper?
I just like the fact that it just looks about a million times better than what I had originally.
I still went overboard with the post editing again, and I still think I kind of, well, it just doesn't seem as sharp and clear.
It's still better than anything I can throw together.
Though I do like how cute you are the with the hat and everything. I still can't believe the first thing I made for you. It turns out I was using the wrong models the whole time. Although the snaggletooth was still the same thing, it was just the belt around the top of the hat was a different color.
Hmm.
It was light brown instead of dark brown, and the cape thing was actually different.
Yeah. I thought you'd been using the right models on that as well, but yeah, when I actually showed you which models I was actually using, you were just like, no, I don't have these. I have none of these things. What is going on?
and
What is life?
and now I do. So yay! I can accurately represent your Gilman.
Yay! Until I change him over to a completely different character and void everything.
That's totally fine.
Yes, because I one day hope to actually replace Guilmon with my actual persona. because it was because the only reason I was using Guilmon because it was a decent model, and considering that I was using Renamon and Blaziken, I was just like, it's another Digimon, but whatever, it works. One of these days, I will be able to do that. But we've, but I've got to have money.
Oh God. I
But
still think
yeah.
I still think that one of my favorite old reviews, drone reviews from you, was definitely the castle thing. The Quest for Epic Loot. That's what it was called.
Yeah, that thing.
The loadouts and Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, I haven't done any of those in a long time. I just don't
Oh,
have
and
the
I
time
did like
for
the
it
All
anymore.
Stars race that started the whole blowfish thing.
That was something that had happened way before that because that was something what my friend Spaze came up with.
Oh.
That was back when I was when I originally started streaming on Twitch. That was something he came up with because the whole we had to come up with a name for people, a collective term for people joining, and Blowfish Squad was just there because I was playing that game at the time, and the announcer kept saying Blowfish, so that was how it happened. Yes. Anyway, folks, that I think we can say that is the end of the podcast. So, thank you everybody for listening, watching, doing whatever. And as always, Heavy Weapons Guy says.
Okay, enough.